In a village named Clapham, there lived a girl named Roma. Roma was very beautiful. Guys in her college were crazy about Roma. One day, she told her mother,
Good morning, Mom. I need some money for something important.
Huh? Why do you need money?
There's an event in our college, and for that I need to buy some new clothes. So give me some money.
Take this money, but don't forget to return the rest of the money after buying clothes.
Okay, Mom.
Saying this, Roma left with the money and bought clothes for herself. And with rest of the money, she bought herself some makeup. After returning home, Roma explained all this to her mother.
Mom, I brought some dresses and makeup items with the money that you gave me.
What? Last month you brought so many dresses and makeup, and now again you brought some more? If you keep doing this, we will become bankrupt one day.
Don't worry, Mom. Nothing will happen. Do you know how beautiful your daughter is? Everybody is her fan. All boys go crazy.
What nonsense! Do you know what are you saying?
Just chill, Mom. It's not that a big deal.
Saying this, Roma left the room, and her mom Ruby sat there thinking about Roma. That's when Roma's father Samuel entered in the room.
What happened, Ruby? Seems like you are tensed.
I don't know how to deal with this girl anymore. She has become really arrogant and she has no value for money.
My friend's son Richard is very educated. He's a bank manager. They were looking for a suitable match, so why don't we fix her marriage with him? Then she will definitely become more mature and responsible.
Yes, you are right. With all the responsibilities, she will become mature and responsible. And this match is also perfect.
I will talk to them tomorrow. We should not delay about this.
Okay. Do whatever you think is right for her. Tomorrow I will tell Roma about this.
Let's go to sleep. We have to wake up early in the morning.
Let's go. Saying this, Samuel and Ruby went to sleep. And the next day Ruby told Roma everything. And Roma also got ready to meet the guy. After that, the guy Richard, along with his mother Shelley and his father Kevin, came to meet Roma. After having some conversations, Roma came there with her mom Ruby. Roma was so pretty that Richard liked her immediately. And then Richard's family said yes to this match. After some days, they got married. Since Roma was a new bride, she didn't used to help her mother-in-law in doing household chores. One day her mother-in-law said, Roma, make some tea for all of us. Today we will have tea specially prepared by you.
Mom, I don't know how to make tea.
What? You don't even know how to make tea?
No, Mom.
And what about food?
No, Mom. Till date, I haven't cooked anything.
What are you saying? You have to start learning little by little. You will have to do all the household chores.
No, Mom. I have just got married. I can't do all these work. And for now, I have plans with my friends.
No, Roma. Some guests are coming today to meet you. Today you have to stay.
Mom, I have promised my friends, and I can't break this promise.
Saying this, Roma goes into her room. She gets ready and comes back wearing a short dress, while her in-laws were sitting in the hall. What are you wearing, daughter-in-law? Do you have any shame or not?
I'm going to meet my friends, and I always wear these kinds of dresses. Don't you know about that?
If not sari, then you can at least wear salwar suit, right?
I have always worn these kinds of dresses.
Shelley, bring me some tea. Are you gonna keep arguing about this?
Yes, I'm bringing your tea. And Roma, come home soon, okay?
Oh God, my mother-in-law keeps restricting me from everything. But let it be, because I'm going to meet my friends.
Here's your tea. And why didn't you say anything to Roma about the dress? There should be a limit to shamelessness.
Let it be, Shelley. She will learn all these etiquette and manners with time.
I don't think so. She doesn't even know how to make tea. Forget about etiquettes and manners. Saying this, Shelley went into the kitchen. And some days passed by like this. One day, Roma's friends came to her in their house.
Hi, Roma. How are you? Is this your maid servant?
Hi, Selena Julie. How are you?
This is my mother-in-law. Come, let's go inside.
Saying this, Selena, Julie and Roma sat and started chattering. At that time, Richard was leaving for office. Hearing their conversations, Richard stopped and asked,
Roma, who are all these people in our house?
Richard, these are my friends. They have come to meet me.
Haven't you told them? I don't like hearing bad things about my mom. They called my mom a maidservant. And still you didn't say anything.
Let it be, Richard. Why you're making a big deal out of it?
You should understand, Roma. What whose status is. Understood?
Saying this, Richard leaves for office and Roma's friends felt insulted after all that. So they also leave.
It's getting late. We should leave now. Yeah. Bye, Roma.
Don't leave. Don't take his words too personally. Please stay.
No one insulted us like this before. Bye.
Saying this, Selena and Julie left. And seeing all this, Roma got very angry and she called the police station and told the police,
Hello, Inspector.
Hello, yes, tell me.
I want to lodge a complaint. My husband and my mother-in-law treats me very badly. Please come and make them understand.
We are coming.
Okay, Inspector.
After doing this, Roma keeps her phone on the table and she noticed her mother-in-law standing behind her.
Mom, when did you come?
Right then when you were calling the police station. And for what and why? Why are you doing this? You said an awful lot of things about me and my son. Now I don't know if he'll forgive you or not.
That's what is done with people like you. Understand?
Okay then. Let me call my son.
Huh.
After saying this, Roma's mother-in-law leaves and calls her son and told him to come back home. Richard was stunned to hear all these from his mother, so he came back home. And then police comes to his home. Seeing the inspector, Richard asked him,
What happened, Inspector? What are you doing here? Your wife has called me here. She has lodged a complaint against you and your mother. But nothing like that happened, Inspector. But your wife has lodged a complaint. Roma, you have lodged a complaint against us. What happened to you?
I did the right thing. Inspector, take them with you or make them understand. They just don't know how to talk with people.
Looking her behavior, Richard and his mother was very upset. The inspector said awful lot of things to Richard and left. Then Richard and his mother goes back to their respective rooms and none of them talked to each other. Then suddenly Roma says,
Well done. Whatever happened was absolutely right. And to people like them, that's what should happen.
Saying this, the next day, Roma goes to her parents' house. Roma's mother-in-law had already told her mother about this incident on phone. So when Roma arrived, her mother said, Roma, do you even understand what you have done? You just ruined your marriage with this one incident.
They used to talk to me in a very rude manner. That's why I did this. Now I don't want to go back there.
There's no place for you in my home. If someday I will say something to you, then you will put us into the jail too. That's why you can't stay in my house.
Then where will I go, Mom?
Go wherever you want. Whatever you have done was a very bad thing to do. Now apologize for that and return back to your own home. Got it? Saying this, Ruby left. And Roma realized her mistake. And she started thinking,
I have really behaved wrongly with my own people. I need to apologize to them. Let's see if they forgive me or not.
Thinking this, Roma returns back to her in-laws. And her mother-in-law said, Why did you come back, Roma?
Please, Mom, forgive me for my mistakes. I did wrong.
How could you ask for forgiveness, Roma? If my son forgives you, then only I will forgive you.
Yes, Mom, I will ask for his forgiveness too.
Now what else do you want, Roma?
Please forgive me. I have done a huge mistake. I will never do that again. Roma started crying. And forgiving her, Richard hugged Roma. And since then, she had changed her behavior. Now, she do all the household chores and respect elders. From shameless daughter-in-law, Roma had transformed into a cultured daughter-in-law. So, from this story, we learned that we should always respect others and we shouldn't humiliate anyone. We should always maintain good behavior with everyone.
A man named Benjamin lived in a village called Conwy. His father was very rich. But since Benjamin did not complete his studies, his father did not talk to him much. One day, Benjamin was sitting with his brothers. There is a marriage ceremony in our house in 2 days. Lot of work to do. Yes, Benjamin, but when you are here, we don't need to worry at all. Yes, brother, that's true. You don't worry. The next day, Benjamin starts working for the wedding ceremony. He completes the work very fast. Benjamin was very hardworking and people used to discuss this quality of him a lot. One day, some people were talking about him when his father, William, went there. What's up, bro? Who are you praising so much?
Hey, we are talking about your dear one. How hardworking is Benjamin? He helps everyone wholeheartedly.
After all, whose son is he?
Yes, William. I would like to have Benjamin marry my daughter Mia. It would be very nice for her.
Simon, so shall we become relatives?
Seriously?
Saying this, both hug each other. In a few days, Benjamin gets married to Mia. Mia was a very learned girl. Now she came to her in-laws' house. Many days passed. Now slowly there started little fight. One day, Mia's sister-in-law abused her. Seeing this, Benjamin said, "Hey, what are you saying, Anna? Are you insane?"
Yes, my brain is working fine and I'm okay. Your wife always says something or the other to me. Now, I am not going to tolerate. Got it?
But what did she do?
I asked her to cook breakfast for me fast. And she said,
I cannot make any more. I have to get tea for mother-in-law.
she said no to me.
Oh, she had to get tea for Ma. That is the reason she said that way.
You will certainly take her side. Why am I talking to you? An illiterate person?
I will not listen a word about my husband. You can tell me whatever you want. Don't speak a word about him. Got it?
If that is what you feel, you may leave the house with your husband. I don't like quarreling every day.
But where will we go?
I don't care where you go.
The same day, Benjamin left the house taking Mia with him. They had an old house in the village. They went and started living there. Benjamin started working as a laborer, but his wife, being so educated, could not forget that Anna called her husband an illiterate, and one fine day she told Benjamin,
Hey, I wanted to talk to you.
"Tell me, Mia."
I think you should start studying. I will teach you.
Benjamin was speechless hearing this from Mia.
Did I say something? Did you feel bad?
"Oh no, Mia, I didn't mind, but I have not paid attention to study till now. Will I be able to do all this?"
Of course, you will be able to do. I am here to teach you.
"Okay, I will definitely learn." Now Mia started teaching Benjamin at home. Benjamin also worked hard and studied well. After few days, "Mia, now I am able to read and write well."
Yes.
"What happened, Mia? What are you thinking?"
Nope, it's nothing.
"Really? You cannot lie to me."
Yeah, actually, I had a dream that I would become a collector. But will I be able to achieve that?
"Yes, of course you will be able to achieve that. I will make you the collector."
Really?
"Yes, I believe you will definitely become the collector. You have all the qualities of a collector."
Really? Now I will surely be the collector.
This is the spirit. Now let's have our meal. The next day, Benjamin takes Mia to fill the exam form. He buys her some books. Mia's exams were few months from that day. Mia started studying hard. She also took care of the household chores. The examination day arrived. Mia wrote her paper well. After a few days, the results were out. She had topped the district. Seeing this, Benjamin and Mia were very happy. Now Benjamin had also started a business of tours and travels. He had started earning profit in that. Mia too got selected in the first round because she has topped the examination. Her training started, and so Mia had to go out of the village for the training. Benjamin started taking care of his business. Few months passed, and ultimately Mia was the collector. Congratulations, Mrs. Mia.
Thank you, Benjamin. All this wasn't possible without your support.
Mia also found out about Benjamin's success in his business. Both husband and wife were proud of each other. Benjamin succeeds in his business, and Mia too, with the help of her position, started helping people. With the help of studies and hard work, both of them achieved new heights in their lives. We learn from this story that we should always give importance to study. With the help of education, we can develop ourselves and others as well.
In the small town of Ashwood, there was a vendor, James, who used to sell hot dogs. James and his wife Stacy used to sell hot dogs in the town, but they didn't have many customers. The customers usually didn't return for more. James always wondered why his customers don't come back. I don't understand what is wrong with these people. Why they are not eating as they used to do. Sale has been down nowadays.
I don't know, but the sales have fallen very low.
I don't like the hot dogs that you make. Then why will customers like it?
If it is so, then why don't you prepare the hot dogs? Only then you will understand how difficult it is.
Okay, I get it. There is a woman in our village. The food she prepares is very tasty. If she will make hot dogs for us, then I'm sure we'll get more customers. Tomorrow I will go to my village and ask her to come with me. Our business will improve and we will earn more. James went to his village where Sarah lived. He went to her house.
Oh, Mr. James, please come. How come you're here?
Yes, there is. That's why I have come here.
What is it? Please tell me.
Sarah, I know that you make delicious hot dogs and I have a small business of hot dog. I need someone who make hot dogs. Will you work for me? I will pay you a good amount of money.
That is a wonderful idea. I will work for you. It will help my family financially.
Great, then we will leave for the town in the evening. Sarah came to town with James. James told her to prepare 100 hot dogs every morning. The next morning, Sarah prepared hot dogs as James has ordered. Like every other day, James and Stacy started selling the hot dogs. That day, they sold all of the hot dogs. They earned a good profit. James gave half of the profit to Sarah. Sarah, we earned a lot of money today. Please take half of the profit. It's yours.
Thank you, brother.
Tomorrow, I'll need 200 hot dogs because now we have more customers.
I will keep 200 hot dogs ready in the morning. You just buy me all the necessary ingredients.
The next morning, Sarah made 200 hot dogs. That day, James sold all the 200 hot dogs. James ordered Sarah to prepare 300 hot dogs. Now it's a daily routine. Sarah would make lots of hot dogs and give it to James. And James earned a lot of money by selling tasty hot dogs to his customers. But Stacy becomes jealous after seeing this. One day she told James,
Dear, why do you give half of the profit to Sarah? We buy all the ingredients, we stand in the shop all day to sell hot dogs, and she gets half of the profit for making hot dogs in the comfort of her house. This is not right.
Yes, my dear, but I don't have any other option. I'm earning lot of profit from the hot dogs Sarah made.
And you share the profit in half. Think carefully.
You are right, but I cannot fire her from this job. We will lose the business.
Don't give her a profit or salary. Pay her on daily basis. Understand?
Okay, this is a better option. We will pay her daily. The next morning, James ordered Sarah to make 300 hot dogs and told her, Sarah, the price of all the things has gone up and I'm facing loss in the business. Now I can give you only 100 rupees per day.
But brother, you promised that you will give me half of the profit. Did you forget? I anyhow earned 100 rupees in the village. I came here to earn more. And don't forget, your customers are buying hot dogs because they are tasty.
Sarah, you are being greedy. It is not a good thing.
I am greedy? Or is it you are greedy? I have never compromised with my work. so I will take full payment as decided.
Get out of my house. I don't agree. You deserve to live in a small village. You can never do better than this. Poor Sarah and her children left his house. After walking for few hours, they took a break. Her elder son, Matt, said,
Mom, please don't worry. We'll find a solution to this problem. Why don't we start our own business? We have saved some money. We can use it to start our own business.
I think you're right. We will start our own business.
The next day, Sarah and her son started their hot dog business, and they started in the heart of the town next to the James business. That day, Sarah made just 50 hot dogs, but her business was new and hence she didn't have many customers on the first day. She became very sad.
Son, do you think we made a mistake by starting the business?
Mom, today was the first day of this business. How we will know if people liked our hot dogs or not? We will try it again tomorrow.
The next day, Sarah and Matt made 50 hot dogs again and started selling them. After some time, a man comes to buy a hot dog.
How much for a hot dog?
Only 10 rupees.
The man liked the taste of the hot dog that he ate. He ordered to pack 10 more hot dogs for his family. As time passed, Sarah now had more customers. People loved her hot dogs, and James started losing his customers one by one. Even everyone was talking about Sarah's delicious hot dog. One day, a very wealthy businessman in the town came to her shop.
Please give me a hot dog.
Sarah gave him a hot dog and got back to her work. The businessman liked her hot dog very much.
Sister, my son is getting married the day after tomorrow. Will you make tasty hot dogs for all guests? I'll pay you for all of the hot dogs.
I will make it, and I will try to give them the best hot dog they have ever eaten.
Please take this as an advance.
Businessman left after giving Sarah some money in advance. When James saw this, he became very jealous, but he knew that he cannot say a word to her.
I think we should start some other business. We are not earning much profit from this hot dogs business.
You are right. Let's start some other business.
In this way, James and Stacy had to stop their business. Their greed and lies became the reason that they had suffered a loss. But Sarah's hot dog business was doing great. The moral of the story is that we should always fulfill our promises and never betray anyone's trust.
Mary the maid had started working as a cook in Harold's home few days ago. Harold's pregnant wife Rachel used to treat her very nicely. She used to give tea and breakfast to her and sometimes even lunch.
Mary, first drink your tea. It's a cold weather.
Sure, madam, I will drink it.
And this is my old sweater. I have only worn it twice. If you want, you can take it.
Harold used to go to his office very early in the morning. After that, Mary used to come to their home to cook food. Mary made delicious food. Rachel was also happy with her work. Slowly, Mary won Rachel's trust completely.
Mary, I'm going to the temple. Take care of the house.
Yes, madam, you don't worry.
Rachel started going to the temple every day for 1 hour, and Mary used to be alone in the home. Harold had received 4 bags of basmati rice from the village. Mary got greedy.
There are just 2 people in this home and so much rice. If I take 2 bowls of rice from this bag, no one will even notice.
Mary took 2 bowls of rice from the bag and kept it in her purse. She closed the rice bag as before.
Amazing! Today I will make fried rice at home.
Mary's greed and daring was increasing day by day. She would take rice, sugar, and sometimes tea leaves and vegetables. Every day, something or the other from Harold's home used to reach Mary's home. Mary had stuck gold. Oh wow! You have found a golden goose. But take care, or else you will be caught.
Yes, don't worry. Madam trusts me completely.
That's good. I don't need to work anymore. Things from the home were slowly disappearing, but Rachel didn't notice. She still trusted Mary. Then one day, Rachel's mother-in-law comes to visit.
Greetings, mother. Oh, don't bother, daughter-in-law. How are you feeling now? It's fine. I just feel tired sometimes. Don't worry. It's normal in pregnancy. Now I'm here to take care of you. Let's click a selfie first.
Rachel introduces mother-in-law to Mary.
Mother, she's Mary. She cooks for us and takes care of other small things in our home. She supports me a lot. Okay, that's fine.
Rachel's mother-in-law was very smart and tech-savvy. She could easily get a hang of a person just by observing them. When Rachel used to go to the temple, she used to sit on the swing to pray. And in every 15 minutes, she used to walk into the kitchen. Because of her presence in the house, Mary was not able to steal things.
When will this old lady go back? I'm afraid to steal anything now.
Mary's clever mind notices something. When mother-in-law sits on the swing, it creaks, and it takes 10 minutes for her to complete a round of praying on the beads.
Okay, so this means that this old lady will not get up from there for 10 minutes. Huh? This time is enough for me.
For the next 2-3 days, Mary is successful in stealing a few things. She feels happy.
I'm going home. I've kept the food in the fridge. Okay.
As Mary is leaving the house, mother-in-law notices a suspicious bulge in Mary's bag.
Huh? When she came in the morning, her bag was folded. How come it's full now?
Next day, Mary comes to work.
Mary, Rachel has left for the temple and I'm sitting for my prayers. Later, I will come to the kitchen to make some sweets. Okay.
Mary comes to the kitchen. She can hear the creak of the swing. She assumes that now mother-in-law will not get up for 10 minutes.
This lady will not come here for 10 minutes now. I should put some vegetables in my bag.
Mary finishes her work and starts to leave for her home.
I'm leaving for home. Okay, what are you going to cook at home today? Thought of making mixed vegetables today. Okay, that's good. So how many vegetables did you take? Huh?
She is surprised to hear this question from the mother-in-law, but manages to answer.
I haven't bought it yet. I will buy them on my way home.
During this, Rachel also comes back.
But you already have the vegetables in your bag. Let me see.
Mary realizes that she has been caught and she feels guilty.
Mother, how did you know?
Mother-in-law starts laughing and shows Rachel the video she recorded in her mobile. Rachel is surprised to see Mary put vegetables in her bag in the video.
Please forgive me. I did a mistake. But weren't you praying at that time? I could hear the sound of the swing. That's why I could gather the courage to steal. Maybe you didn't notice me holding Rachel's beads, not mine. And if you push the swing once, it will keep swinging for at least 5 minutes. It gave me enough time to record.
So that's how the mother-in-law taught Mary a lesson who was a greedy maid. Now Mary couldn't work in that area anymore.
Oh God, what have I done? I dug my own grave. Mother, today we have been saved from loss because of you. But daughter-in-law, remember, you should also not trust anyone blindly from now. Not everyone is good in this world.